all of us, we can all put on white coats, suits, but underneath it all, we're basically all human beings. And I think what I would tend to say is when you actually talk to a patient and ask what matters to them, you're connecting at a very human level.
John's story begins as a healthy fellow. He was a farmer for many, many years, and John was a strong, wiry type of guy. And John had worked long and hard, and you can just tell those kind of people that are the hard workers, the salt of the earth. He came to know us because he had been ill for some time and ended up in our intensive care unit. It was very difficult for him because he'd been very robust, very healthy, active. And so part of my job was to make a care plan to communicate to the receiving unit that would get him what his daily activity looked like, what his plan looked like in terms of helping him recover. The interesting thing with John was he didn't want any of that. He was tired of being a patient. He was tired of being in the hospital. He felt very vulnerable, and he'd almost given up. I was going to sit down with him and make a care plan that wasn't my care plan. It was his. So I started out by asking him, "John, what matters to you?" He said to me, "I just want to be on my farm and be back on my porch in the sun looking at my farm." Understandably, he'd spent his life on his farm. It was his life. And it didn't resemble anything close to the hospital bed and the environment he was in.
When we listen to what the patient desires or what their wishes are, what matters most to them, a lot of times it's within our ability to actually help achieve that goal for the patient.
It's so simple. It should be what we already do. It's like entering into a partnership with a patient, and it allows you as a healthcare professional to see that person behind the illness, behind the patient and the gown.
We need to listen to what they want, and then within the limitations that we can do as providers within AHS, try to fulfill those goals. We can actually take their goals and help them to direct those goals into meaningful ways that they can help them live as independent a life as possible.
And that's kind of what happened there that day. And I said, "John, what if I told you, if you work with us, we can help you get stronger to get you there?" He looked more alive. He looked more interested. He was willing to talk, but it also took a willingness to listen. And he did get to the unit, and the last I heard, he went to a rural hospital where he was continuing his recovery closer to home in the hope that the next step would be his porch.
When you actually connect with a patient and a family, and they know that you care, I think that brings with it its own reward right there.